Hey guys, welcome back. Origami here, bringing you another one of our live tabletop matchups. Now, I do want to thank you guys so much for all the support on the first one, Reshi's versus Fossil Box. I have the deck profiles up, and for those of you that are curious, I'm going to have these deck profiles up for both of these decks early up on Patreon, and a unlisted video for the Twitch subs to watch as well. So if you guys want to see these deck lists before they come out, the day after this video comes out, feel free to, don't forget to support the channel. I am actually looking to raise money right now for a brand new computer. But to the left, we have the Dragonite GX, the brand new Dragonite GX. I'm actually really excited to show you guys all about this Dragonite GX. And to the right, we have updated Greninja Zoroark. This is more of a dark box build, because now we actually have a bunch of brand new tag teams that make this deck insane. Like, this deck is kind of wild. So yeah. Before we get into the video, I do want to shout out some of the Patreons. We got Ben Adel, I Like Pokemon Cards, Cayenne, Oswaldo, Pat, and of course Snooki McBam. Thank you guys for all the support on Patreon. Thank you to the sponsors of Guardian Gaming, and just because like this early stuff, there's a Greninja Zoroark up. Oh, those Ultra Balls are proxies for Cherish Balls, by the way, because I couldn't be bothered to print more Cherish Balls. To be 100% honest, I couldn't be bothered to print more. So the rest of the videos will have 2 sets of Cherish Balls if they need to. But D-Knight is actually a really interesting Pokemon. I'm going to go ahead and pull up all the information here to the side, so there should be no mistake. But let's see. So there's a bunch of brand new Dragonites. There's a brand new Dragonite GX, whose attack... Ooh, I didn't... Okay, cool. Whose attack does 270 damage for 5 energies. 270 is a really good number. You knock out the majority of tag team GXs that are being played right now for 270. As you can see though, I had a really bad opening hand there, having to lose a lot of my energy cards. I am playing a Broxgrit in this deck because I know I'm going to be forced to Dedenne to set up my stage 2s. This is probably the only viable stage 2 deck out there, because we do have access to Treasure and Cherish Ball. But the whole game plan for me is to set up my Dragonites and try to just like let my opponent take 1 prize at a time. And then like the thing is, because we trade so well, being a 2 prizer versus a tag team GX deck, we should trade at the end of the day fairly well. We do have 250 HP as a stage 2, an attack for Water Lightning Colors, which does 130, so it's a really good attack for knocking out some of these Naganadels. Sky Judgment, that does do 270, you have to discard 3 energies, which is easy enough to do, because you attach a Water, a Lightning, and a triple energy, 3 CE, as you will. And because we have the brand new Dragonite that has an ability that lets you attach a Water and a Lightning energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like, it's easy enough to set up a Dragonite GX out of nowhere. That combined with the fast call one that you see right here, giving you the ability to let a search a supporter out of your deck and put it into your hand, you're really able to take advantage of the fact that you can use cards like Lance on command, like I'm about to use right now. So I'm using both Lance and I'm using Lieutenant Surge strategy here to get out 2 Dragonites. So there we go, without even having to evolve into stage 2s, which we can still do slowly as the game goes on, as you see. So as you can see, the Dragonite GX, 250 HP. They all have a 3 retreat cost. Actually, this one has a 2 retreat cost, the ability one. But the ability one does let you use the ability to attach any 2 any 2 Water Lightning energies. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a Judge here as my second supporter after I use my Lieutenant Surge, right? I'm gonna choose to attach manually and then use Dragonite's ability to attach to the Dedenne as well, which is why I have 2 energies on the Dedenne. And thanks to my opponent having Viridian Force, I can try to abuse that as well. But that's enough about the Dragonite deck. Let's talk about the Dark deck. So the Dark deck has a lot of cool cards in it. We have access to so many brand new GXs. Actually, speaking of which, I should probably pull up some of these cards. We have Weavile GX, which is why you see the Sneasel down there. Now Weavile is a little bit difficult to get down, but because this deck is super turbo, it's really easy to find the combo pieces as the game goes on. But Weavile GX has a crazy ability that lets you move any dark energies from one Pokemon to another as often as you like during the turn. Move basic dark energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So that combined with Naganadel's ability to constantly be getting out dark energies from your discard pile means you should have a lot of dark energies in your deck. Its attack for 3 energies does cost 130, and its GX attack, which is actually not a bad GX attack in this deck, is you search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench. Any number you want, which is perfect for a setup deck like this that needs to get out a bunch of Poipoles and stuff like that, and some tag teams. It also has a brand new tag team, 2 brand new tag teams actually. me see, Darkrai Umbreon GX, which is the main reason why I play this card. Is actually not a bad attacker in the early parts of the game where you're not going to get a bunch of energies on the board. As you can see, I did use my Dedene's GX attack, putting it back into my hand, putting the energies back into my hand that I can reattach thanks to my Dragonite's ability. And also letting me reuse the Dedenne, which I'm going to need to do here to continue to set up my board and try to find more triple energies and stuff like that. But let's go back to talking about the Umbreon and Darkrai GX, which I guess I should probably talk about as they hit the board. So I'm going to keep these up on the board for the time being because they haven't hit the board yet. But there's Umbreon and Darkrai. There's also Tyranitar and Mega Sableye. One other. At first, I kind of like thought this card was lame, but we'll talk about it as the game goes on. They definitely get to showcase themselves in these games. But here we're just double checking like wording and stuff like that to make sure that we're not going to be making any misplays in case they do happen. You never know, right? But yeah, I think Dragonite is one of the more viable tag team options because of Pokegear, because of Lance. Lance is the big one, right? Lieutenant Surge letting you play Lance and a draw supporter that turn. And because we have access to Acrobikes and Judge Whistles, although I'm not playing Judge Whistles in this deck, Acrobikes in this deck, just Judge Whistles, I'm going to go ahead and use the Viridian Force to give myself a Water Energy. I'm going to use my ability. So the game plan here is just to find a triple energy off this Dedenne and draw supporter that I'm probably going to be playing here. Because all I need to do right now is to find a triple energy and I take a knockout, which is crazy. You can now knock out Reshizards, you can knock out Mewtwo and Mew tag team. Pretty much every tag team in the format you can knock out. I think you knock out, yeah, you do knock out Eevee Snorlax, which would be kind of a threat to you, but, oh, I'm just doing that because I forgot GX, that's right. I'm going to grab a D-Knight here, Rare Candy for another D-Knight, use Lily, try to find a triple, still no triple. I'm playing Ditto in this deck list because I am also playing the Dragonair, it's definitely not a bad option. I am most likely going to play my Dedenne here because I really need to find a triple this turn. So I'm going to play the Pokegear, because I haven't used the Dedenne yet. I already played the Leaf Return, so I'm getting out pretty much the max amount of digging I can do. I'm thinking like, I think I'm just gonna fail, but I'm gonna grab a card just in case I want to thin out a supporter for my deck, because I really need to find this triple here. So I'm gonna be taking advantage. I can treasure as well to get myself a just Dratini, I guess. Gonna get rid of that Ditto because I don't want to bench Ditto. I don't see, I can get Latios. Oh, Latios' Prism is a card I play in this deck too, because you have so many evolutions in your bench, right? Like right now, if Latios was active, you'd hit 200 for 2 energies. But I also find that I never ever use the Latios, but I have to probably play more in more different matchups for me to find out if he's ever useful. So I'm keeping it in the deck for the time being. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this right here because there's no reason. Oh look, I Judge Whistle into another Dedenne. That's not at all what I wanted to see because I wanted to get rid of that. I didn't want to draw into another Dedenne. I want to maybe use it later in the game. I forgot I had to let my opponent cut her tap. There we go. Draw another 6 cards here, and we did whiff the triple, which is pretty annoying, but luckily he can't take a knockout this turn. So we should be okay. We can use this time to attach an extra energy somewhere else. I don't really see a purpose in like two-shotting him because I'm most likely going to get it next turn, but I guess I chose not to attach manually, or maybe I did attach manually and I just forgot. I don't know. Maybe I attached it to that Dragonite back there. I don't remember. Anyways, an energy going to that Weavile. Because I don't play any gusting in this deck, because you're playing so aggressively, playing like your Dedennes and stuff like that. I'm not playing custom catcher. I'm just going to call it catcher for now, because I'm always going to get those confused. I'm not playing custom catcher, but that's definitely an option you do have access to. Just going to use the force and fail, just so we can get more energies in the discard pile, of course. So Lily for a few cards here. But yeah, you could play it. It's just kind of hard to make space because once again, you are a stage 2 deck. And once again, those Ultra Balls are Cherish Balls. There is the Weavile GX, like I mentioned, can move energies around, has a really strong GX attack, which is a good option because you're almost never going to use Greninja Zoroark's GX attack in this deck. We're not playing Incineroar, and I think Incineroar is even worse than it was back in regular standard. There is the Darkrai GX, Darkrai and Umbreon Tag Team GX. Now this card is kind of crazy. I built the deck to kind of have a, try to get the turn 1 whenever you're going second with Umbreon Darkrai. Because Umbreon Darkrai's GX attack, the main reason why I play this is for the GX attack. Dark Moon GX, which means your opponent can't play any training cards from their hand during their next turn, which is a huge way to slow your opponent down so that they can't do much to punish you, giving you an extra turn to set up your board. And then there is Black Lance, which does 150 and 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench GX or EX. So a really good early game GX attack as you try to load up energies on your side of the board. There is a new stadium in this deck. There is a new stadium that you can play that is similar to Alter the Moon. I forgot the name of it, but I choose not to play because Viridian Force is just so much more useful, to be 100% honest. You really need to discard a lot of energies. You really need to search. You need to get manual attachments every turn if you're going to hit these huge tag team numbers. So I'm choosing to not play the new stadium for free retreat and just focus on the Viridian Force for the time being. But there's a triple energy. We did manage to find it, which is good. We're going to get knocked down return, but we are going to take 3 prizes, which is pretty nice. And then we have to discard 3 energies whenever we attack it, which is just discarding the triple energy, which we will do here in a second. Now here she can take a knockout with Umbreon and Darkrai while also keeping, while also putting 60 damage on a benched, on a benched Dragonite GX. But if I can just simply find a triple energy, I do win the game if I take a knockout here. Now, one thing that she can do, I believe we actually talked about this off camera, is that instead of attacking with the Umbreon Darkrai, she could have just attached with Naga, taken a knockout, forced me to take a knockout on the, forced me to take the knockout, because then it forced me to take a knockout on a Naganadel, and then she'd have boosted damage with 1 Naganadel, and then take a knockout the following turn, I think, because there's no, actually she'd be short still, because there's 160 into 80, right, which is still 240, so she'll still be short 10 damage. I don't know, it's kind of weird here, because if I find triple, I win, right? So that's all there is to it. I'm using Brock here because I could also just manually attach 3 energies this turn, 1 using an ability, and then a manual attachment afterwards, like right here. Using that Brock, I can shuffle back in a few energies, and then like using Viridian Forest, I can get a water energy and then attach the lightning and the water that's in my hand, and then all I have to do at that point is top deck an energy and then win the game, because I have to hit that 270 because Darkrai and Umbreon still only has 270 HP, just like the majority of tag teams right now. It is weak to fighting, to retreat costs, resistance psychic, yada yada, standard Darkrai stuff. But a very, very powerful card in this deck for sure, giving you all that amazing early pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and treasure here just to thin my deck, because I really just want to find any energy card I can. And there's another Cherish Ball to get the other Dedenne that I shuffled back in just now. I'm pretty sure I can rare candy here, just to, why not? And I can still force, which is what I'm doing right now, grabbing the water energy. And that way I am thinning as much as I can to try to find this last manual attachment. I'm actually choosing to attach to the bench, which is not super necessary, because once again, I could have just tried. I mean, I was like almost guaranteed to find game here off the Dedenne, because look how thin my deck is. I'm also playing Tapu Koko Prism in here, just another way to get energies on the board. Another card I'm not really finding super useful, but at the same time, it's definitely not bad, because I just haven't had any issues getting out I haven't had any issues in this game right there. I haven't had any issues getting out all the Dragonites thanks to Lance, but of course Lance could be prized, and sometimes you just can't set up all your Dragonites. But there we go. Like I mentioned, she could have attacked multiple times with Naganadels, but at the end of the day, because I had multiple setup Dragonites pretty much on the board, right? Because I had another Dragonite on the bench set up. All I had to do was find another triple or attach more energies to it. That would have been able to win the game, because regardless, she's still losing 3 prizes if she's attacking with Naganadel, and only has 1 other Naganadel on the board, so she's gonna run out of energies at some point, right? But anyways, we're moving on to game 2 here. Dragonite taking a very taking a victory there, but to be honest, it was kind of like risky, because my early game was really, really bad. So even though we did take a victory there and essentially 2 attacks, it was still kind of like risky, because our early game setup was really bad. But hopefully we can showcase a really good early game setup, because like it's actually not so bad. With the combination of Volker letting you find rare candies and stuff, you have Treasure to find your Dratini's, Cherish Balls to find your Dragonites, you have the Dennes in the deck to help you search through your deck even more. Judge Whistles, which is just another -4 in the deck more or less, letting you not only draw a card for free, which I had an argument with somebody in the chat in the comment section about today, about like how Judge Whistle is not actually a -4. I mean, in my opinion, because there's no punishment for playing items unless you run against Omastar, which I guess is a real possibility. But like outside of running into Omastar, there's new item lock too, but none of it is really good. Unfortunately, we don't have any really good item lock, especially early game item lock. I know we have that new LGM stuff, but that's, once again, there's not really good early game item lock right now. So as long as you're not running into like item lock that you can't play around, Judge Whistle should always be -4. Because when you play it, you're drawing another card. When you get it off the prizes, you're drawing another card. Every single time, you're just getting another card for one card. So it's essentially like only playing 56 cards in your deck when you look at it that way, right? Plus, you always want your Judge Whistles to be prized unless you're actually looking for Judge. We do play a Judge in this deck, for sure. I don't know if I play Reset Stamp in this deck. I'm pretty sure I do as well, but I just like having access to Judge and being able to reuse Judge, especially like since we're a stage 2 deck. A little bit of disruption here and there is really handy as we try to set up our board. My opponent is going first here, already having 2 Poiples down, one Darkrai, one Greninja Zoroark. Now, I do play a couple cards in here like switches and stuff like that to get out Darkrai, Umbreon. Turn 1 if you're going second, right? Because if you're going second, it's really good to use that GX attack turn 1 so you can progress your board. Because like all this deck really needs is one free turn to set up all your Pokemon and attach energies. But unfortunately, my opponent did whiff energies, which is very strange because we are playing, I believe, either 12 or 14 energies in this deck list. I don't actually remember off the top of my head. We're playing a lot of energies in this deck list, as well as a bunch of Viridian Forest, so it was just a very unlikely circumstance for my opponent to whip all those energies, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Gonna go ahead and use Volkner to get myself Lightning Energy and a Treasure, and might lose the energy. Let's see what else is in my hand. Oh, there's a Reset Stamp, so I do play Reset Stamp as well as Judge. We have a Lance in hand too, so all we need to do right now is just get one more Pokemon. I don't mind if my opponent takes a knockout, but I really need to find one more Pokemon. My opponent can still take a knockout thanks to Weavile GX, so it's still a real possibility. And in this deck, we are playing a very high amount of Sneasels, because finding the Weavile is easy. You have Cherish Ball. It's not a big deal to find Weavile. But finding the Sneasels are going to be the hard part, because we don't play any Fan Club. It's literally just draw into them. So thanks to Judge Whistle, Acrobike, Forest for thinning, things like that, we should have not a horrible time running into the Sneasel. Weavile, I mean. And speaking of Weavile, I believe this is it right here. There it is. So turn 2, my opponent got 2 Nagas, Weavile GX, and an attacker on the board. So it's kind of ridiculous, right? Let's see what my opponent can do here. There's a switch I was talking about. So now she can very easily just get 2 Nagas charged up and Weavile to move the energies. So even if she does whiff manual attachments, which looks like she found a lot of manual attachments there. Even if she does whiff manual attachment, as long as she can get 2 energies in the discard pile, she should be perfectly fine. So the chances of her attacking are pretty high right now. I just can't wait for you guys to see Mega Tyranitar make its play. I think it's in this game too, which I'm really excited about. At first I thought Mega Tyranitar or Mega Sableye Tyranitar tag team was just a pretty whatever card, but man, it's kind of crazy in this deck. For sure, it's kind of crazy. But here she goes, just trying to thin as much as possible so she can use so she can draw as much as she can off Lily. Switch came in handy there. Switch is just also pretty good because there's a lot of stats condition, which can be frustrating in this format. I think she drew 3. She did get some manual attachments there. Does she have an energy down there? She does not yet. So that's just a pass. So unfortunately, my opponent whiffed a lot there, which sucks for me because I want to use Lance. But I guess I'm just going to act like I have nothing right now because Lance is just chilling in my hand, waiting to be played. There's a Lily. Oh, excuse me. Let's see, I could Reset Stamp. I have Lily for 1. Yeah, just to act like I'm just trying to play off the thing that my hand is dead. This is a stage 2 deck, right? Like, it could very easily be dead. And there we go. Finally, she's going to take a knockout. She's like, I finally start using Lance here. Unfortunately, I don't have Fast Call to use Lieutenant Surge into Lance. But I do have access to Dene, which, unless I draw a Fast Call here, like, do I have a rare candy in hand? If I have a rare candy in hand, I can very easily use Fast Call. But no, I'm just going to grab a Dragonite here, which is fine. Choosing to get rid of a Brock, I guess because like I haven't lost a lot of resources, meaning I should have enough cards in my deck to win this game without really worrying about it. Brock is just usually if you lose a lot of resources early game. I'm just trying to think what I can do here. I'm gonna go ahead and use this right now, because I'm going to just end up playing. Yeah, I'm just going to end up using the Dene this turn after I Lance, so I'm not really super interested in doing much else. I can Reset Stamp my opponent, give my opponent 5 cards. I don't think that's super useful though. I might not do it. We'll see what Pokegear gets us here. Just trying to thin as much as possible just to try to find all the combo pieces I might need, because right here all I'm doing is grabbing Dragonite GX and the ability Dragonite that lets you attach energies. So there's a Lily. I can use Lily first just to try to find rare candy. No, I can't use Lily first because obviously I can't play Lance if I play Lily. Let's see what happens, because I don't know why I'm taking so long with this turn. I'm just going to use Lance. I think just because, like, I'm debating if I want to try to find... Well, it should be impossible. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to go and use Lance here, get both those Dragonites I need. I'm also debating, do I want to get the attacking Dragonite or not? Because I could just rare candy into it if I need to. But I think I'm just going to get... choosing not to, interestingly enough. I guess it makes sense because I'm probably not going to be able to attack this turn. I'm pretty sure Dratini has a 1 energy retreat, so there's no way for me to attack this turn regardless, right? So I'm just going to Dedenne here and try to find rare candy Dragonite. Not the worst play ever. I can evolve into Dragonair here for sure. And there, my board is pretty full. We have a Judge for next turn, but still no Dragonite, but we can get Dragonite. We only have 2 Cherish Balls left in the deck, so it's not like we have the most amount of Cherish Balls, but they take another knockout, we can very easily just find all the stuff we need. Although we only have Judge on our hands, so we'd have to go into finding another Dedenne, which is definitely a possibility. But like I said, because we weren't able, and we have the fast call Dragonite on the board to get ourselves any supporter we might need. Which right now it does not look like. I mean, I can grab Lieutenant Surge. So I can use Fast Call to grab Lieutenant Surge and then use both Judge and some other draw supporter. There's definite possibility. You could also grab Volkner here as well using this. Just to guarantee the Dragonite GX. I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Use Volkner to grab this and Cherish Ball probably. I could also grab Treasure, just because I could save Cherish Ball for the Dennes later. This is also kind of like a bad play because I should have gone into the Dratini I should have gone to the Dratini since I had the rare candy in hand. But yeah, the setup is kind of weird this game for sure. Treasure away the Latios Prism probably, because like Latios Prism I don't see myself doing anything. I need to have like even if I had a board full of just evolutions on the bench, I would still only hit 250, right? Yeah, I only hit 250, which doesn't knock out any of the tag teams. So Latios is actually pretty useless in tag team matchups. I mean, I guess for sure you can like use it to 2-hit KO, I guess. But like since this deck is all about like setting up your Dragonite to Oko, it doesn't feel like the most useful thing in the world. Because I know my opponent won't be able to take a knockout next turn. Like they'd have to, what, 1, 2, 3. If they attach another one plus get 3 more, that's 6 energy, 60, 120, 180. Yeah, they can't take a knockout next turn. So I'm pretty confident in this play, I think. Because they have 3 on the board, they can get 3 more manual attachment plus 2 Nagas, right? So I'm just gonna GX here, just to draw. Oh yeah, I guess I should probably mention Dragonite's GX attack, huh? Dragonite's GX attack lets you lets you discard as many cards from your hand and then draw until you have 10 in your hand. So pretty decent GX attack for just setup. I have used it a lot in our testing games for sure. You just saw the awkward tingly return in the game 1, which wasn't actually awkward. It did end up panning through, paralyzing our opponent as well as letting us use the Dene again. Also a pretty useful GX attack if we're playing against like Beast Box, because I know Beast Box has that attack that lets you snipe 160 on the bench, 170 on the bench, which can knock out the Denes. So if we ever need to put the Denes back into our hand, that's an option for us as well. So opponent decided to use a reset stamp there. Let's see what else they're gonna do. Oh, there's the. Oh, they're good. Good. He's down. He's down. The boy is down. The champion is down. Let's talk about him. Mega Sableye Tyranitar Tag Team GX. So the biggest thing about him is specifically in this matchup is that he has 280 HP, which is extremely relevant because he's the only Pokemon in this deck that I can't Oko. And not being able to Oko something in your opponent's side of the board is really, really bad for you because he has crazy attacks. First things first, Greed Crash. 210 damage. If you knock out a Pokemon, if you knock out your opponent's active Pokemon, which is an EX or GX, you may take an extra prize card. So That's kind of wild. In this matchup, if you take a knockout, which obviously you don't hit Oko numbers against Dragonite, but if you can weaken them, you can take Oko numbers, and it's essentially the same thing as taking a tag team knockout. But let's go beyond just this matchup and think about the other matchups. Mainly Blacephalon. Having this card to take 3 prizes at the same time is crazy, because you can kind of work around, if you take a knockout and a Naganadel first, or anything first, you can play around B-Strings, which is pretty big. But not just that, but taking, like, because you have 280 HP, Blacephalon needs a lot of energies to take an Oko on you. And if they don't hit that Oko, you just take another knockout the following turn and win the game, because there's nothing stopping you. You don't discard energies to use this attack. You don't have to not attack the following turn like Buzzwole GX and stuff like that. You just attack again. And that's wild. So here my opponent's gonna take 3 prizes off me, put a black market down, and now this is where things get crazy. I lose. I can't do anything. I can't take an Oko on this thing. I can't stop it from attacking. I can't gust it. And it has a crazy GX attack, Gigafall GX, that hits 250. So I can't even tank a hit if I want to. I already GX attack, so I can't Tingly Return, which would have been my only option to try to like weaken it enough to put it into range as well as keep it paralyzed. We're just talking here about how, like, I lose this game no matter what. I am pretty much in checkmate. I don't have, if I were to discard energies using Dragonair's attack, he has 2 Nagas on the board. I can't stop those Nagas from recharging and Weavile from putting the energies back on the board. Gigafall GX takes Okos on everything because you do 250. And as far as the extra effect goes, if you have 5 additional energy attached to this thing, which means you have to have 10 energies in total, you discard 15 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, which is another insane attack, which she did pull off one time during testing, which was crazy, because getting rid of 1/4 of your opponent's deck is not just good as far as like the deck out strategy, but good in the sense that, like, oh look, you have disrupted all these cards that I needed to draw for the game. And there you go, winning thanks to Mega Sableye Tyranitar. I'm never gonna underrate that card again. That thing, if it hits the board, is an absolute monster. Like, it literally wins you so many matchups that you would have a hard time winning just naturally. Being able to win Blacephalon with that card is crazy, as well as any other regular GX deck. I'm trying to think of others off the top of my head, but I can't think of any. It's pretty worthless, again, in the tag team matchup because it doesn't hit those big numbers. But like, if your opponent's like playing, like, say you're playing against Mega Charizard, right? And your opponent's being cheesy and giving you only Volcanions, and if you knock out 2 Volcanions and you knock out a Mega Charizard, say that you weaken him with one of your other attacks, and then you finish him off with Mega Sableye Tyranitar, then you just win the game because you're taking 4 prizes off Charizard Retro MGX, which is crazy. Like, excuse me. The ability to take 1 extra prize is just wild. Being able to mill your opponent out of 15 cards is crazy. Hitting 250 is just really good. Although it doesn't knock out tag teams like I mentioned, it's just the perfect card that this deck needed to handle non-GX decks as well. I mean, it's not like you don't have any non-tag team attackers. Like, you can play cards like Darkrai Prism. I don't personally like it, but it's an option if you're looking for some basic dark attackers. You have the option. You always can attack with Naga, and if you're looking for just regular GX attackers, you have Weavile. You have attackers on the board. You don't want to lose your Weavile because you kind of need it if you're going to win the game with Mega Tyranitar, but because like 5 energies is a lot to ask for, right? And you have 280 HP, which means you're actually out of range of pretty much any other attacker in the game that don't have infinite damage output. So like, it's a crazy card. This deck right here is gonna be so good. I believe we'll have to see, but for sure it's gonna be pretty crazy. But I mean, Dragonite, once again, if they can't put that Mega Tyranitar down early, if it's still a tag team, right? Like, you still have to set up your board to successfully use the Mega Tyranitar. So it's not like it's crazy. Like, if Dragonite can set up, which we're going to do hopefully in this game, we'll see if we can win this game or not. Then like, it's not like we can't win. Like, you saw in game 1 that we won. But game 2, you saw us get smashed by that Mega Tyranitar, or Mega Sableye Tyranitar. I'm surprised. I guess they needed Mega Sableye because they already had a Mega Tyranitar card, I think. Maybe not. I don't remember, actually. Interesting. I don't know. But it's cool that they're putting Megas into tag teams now, so that's pretty cool. We don't know for sure. By the way, I should always mention this in these deck profiles. We don't know for sure if these cards are going to be in the set because we don't actually have the official set released. But we can go off of like knowing what 3 sets should be in our set. Although they have announced that they're going to omit some cards, we just don't know from what cards are going to be. Which is why it's kind of like in the air right now what we're all getting. We know for sure we're not getting the 3 birds, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, because those are going to be in our Sky Legend, not Sky Legend, I forget what the set is called, but it's a mini set that comes out after Worlds, so we're not getting those for Worlds. I just dropped these, my bad. My opponent has another really good turn 1, except for the fact they don't have any Nagas, which was pretty big, but they managed to use their GX attack here because they're going, they're going second here. So she did manage to switch and have access to GX attack. I should also mention the Darkrai Umbreon's GX attack. If you have extra energies, I don't remember how many. Let me double check here. If you have 5 extra energies attached to it, so 6 energies in total, you do get to take an immediate knockout. But the main reason why we use it is so that my can't play any items. And since I can't play any items, that means no Cherish Ball, no draw supporters, no rare candies, nothing. So I'm just kind of boned here. Now he can just go ahead and take a knockout with this dude. So it's a really good early game attacker, like a really good early game attacker. 150 is pretty strong early game. So let's see what we can get off this. There's a whistle, we have Pokegear, there is rare candy. All we need, I mean, like, it's kind of a tall order, but Lieutenant Surge is here, so that's pretty handy. If we can find ourselves a Lance, which we did, I think, oh yeah, we found a Lance. We have Lieutenant Surge and Lance. Actually, this is crazy. But we need to find the water energy, which is the big one. Lieutenant Surge, we're gonna go ahead and Cherish Ball, Lance to get another draw supporter off the fast call Dragonite, as well as this one, as well as this dude, the energy accelerating Dragonite. We have the triple energy in hand, which means all we have to do now is draw a water energy through this next draw supporter we're going to play. I'm assuming it's just gonna be Lily. I'm actually not playing any shuffle draw in this deck. It's just pure Lilies in this deck. Pure Lilies, pure Volkners, and Dedenes. So it's just like as turbo as possible. We're never shuffling cards back in, we're just taking cards out. That's how I'm approaching this deck. And it's been working out really well. This deck has been super consistent. And let's see, we got the water energy, which is all we really needed here. We could choose to just keep going because we have the Dene in hand. We would lose both the Denes, but we can keep digging if we want to continuously draw, if we want to continuously, oh yeah, so we're gonna pretend like, oh yeah, I remember. There we go. I think I drew an extra card or something like that, and I don't know. I don't remember what we did, but we did something. But it doesn't. Don't worry about it. It doesn't really change anything. We're gonna go ahead and use Treasure here to get rid of that Dedenne to grab a Dragonair. Oh yeah, because we have the water energy attachment right now. So, oh yeah, so what we did was, I need to double check that later, and hopefully, I mean, regardless, it's still like you get 3 games. Hopefully there was no cheating involved, because I remember I probably drew the Judge Whistle and then that I used the water energy draw. I actually don't remember what happened, but it's fine. Who cares? We got the knockout there, and I didn't use the Dene, which I could have for sure, but I guess it was unnecessary because we couldn't evolve anything anymore. All it would have done was try to get me more Dratinis on the board, which only one more because we only have 1 bench space open. So I don't think it was super necessary. But here it's just a matter of like, she's gonna reset stamp me, which is annoying. But if I can find triple energy, I just win the game, right? So that's the game plan, is just to find triple energy. Doesn't have Tyranitar down, and we're only drawing 3. Cherish Ball is good because we get ourselves the Dene. Water energy, I can actually use this opportunity to just need to draw an energy, right? So here's where I make the play. So I'm gonna go ahead and Cherish Ball to grab the Dene. I'm gonna use the Viridian Forest to grab myself a lightning energy, attach the water and lightning on from my hand to the active Dragonite, and now I have a lot more outs, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna get the lightning energy off this. And now all I need to do is draw triple energy or a manual attachment of any kind, and I take a knockout here, thanks to our Dragonite's ability. And I also have access to, where's my Dedenne? I don't know what happened to my Dedenne. Oh, there it is on the board already. All right, cool. So let's see if we find anything, and we did whiff completely, but we still have access to Fast Call Dragonite. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep thinning, and I'm gonna try to use the Fast Call to take a knockout here. We have 2 Pokegears. We have Treasure to thin our hand down to 0. Oh, wait a minute. No, I remember. I have Volkner in my hand. I can just use the Volkner. So, yeah, I remember Kate mentioned this. It was like, oh, yeah, just use the Volkner. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I should probably use Volkner and Treasure at the same time instead. And I'm choosing to discard the Pokegear using the thing, using the Volkner, grab that, and that's game. And I was like, oh yeah, I can just use the Volkner. So there you go. Definitely a really weird last game, but it's also because we've been recording for very many hours and I'm very tired. But anyways, there we go. There's your 3 games. Very weird last game for sure. But Dragonite was able to set up fairly quickly, thanks to Lance, of course. Pokegear is just such a huge help in these kind of decks, letting you find that Lance early. And yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure. Let me know what decks you guys want to see me play next. Let me know. Oh yeah, deck profiles will be up the following days if you guys hit the like goal, which is going to be 75 likes again. You guys killed it last time, so we'll see if we can kill it again. Anything else I want to mention? You guys gave me a lot of ideas for decks you want to see me play. I will try to record them as much as possible. Uploads aren't going to be as consistent. I mean, they will be as consistent as the like goals we hit, right? So just try to hit the like goals and we'll be able to do the next day uploads. But I'm going to avoid uploading where I can because I'm still very busy with work and I need to make sure I stockpile as many recordings as possible. So do expect to see the deck profiles up. If you guys want to see these deck profiles up early, the Patreon is the way to go. Right now I'm trying to buy a new computer. My computer is broken. The monitor from my computer has finally cracked and it's falling apart and it's very sad. So I need to get myself a new computer if I'm going to continue uploading. So if you guys want to help donate through that way, there's lots of ways to donate through PayPal. There's the t-shirt merch if you guys want to buy those. There's Patreon, which is a huge help. I'm probably going to need around $700 if I'm going to buy a decent computer. So feel free to donate if you guys want to support. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.